Coming up on OU Nightly, I'm tracking a severe weather threat across the metro, and stay here. I've got all the when, wheres, and whys coming up.
OU faculty tenure is at risk. Hear comments from university leaders.
Plus, Oklahoma joins an initiative to support foster care families. Hear how this impacts local foster organizations. This is OU Nightly.
You're taking a look at the south side of OU from our campus cam. Looks like some dark clouds and storms are headed our way. It's a beautiful day today, but that might not last for long. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Reagan Garvin.
And I'm Leah Smith. Severe weather has impacted Oklahoma over the past few weeks. Wildfires raged across the Panhandle and northwest Oklahoma, and thunderstorms came through regions near Tulsa.
Most recently, tornadoes swept across Beggs, Oklahoma, leaving parts of the city in debris and ruins.
Roger Malden is one of the people who lost a building during the tornadoes on Friday. Malden lost his barn, but thankfully says that he had no cattle.
I was watching weather, and they said that there was a tornado damage north and west of Beggs, and we're directly north here, and so I thought, well, maybe it missed us. And I sat there a little bit, and then I couldn't, had to come down and see.
Him and his family are picking up the pieces of what is left. OU Nightly is following Malden's story, and we'll have more on the coverage.
Norman has been on the outskirts of the severe weather, but that could change tonight.
OU Nightly meteorologist Parker Schrader and our campus weather authority have been tracking the upcoming storms. Parker, what can we expect tonight?
Yeah, guys, it's another round of severe weather here, and most certainly going to be something we're watching here. We do have a little bit of some showers starting to develop off into the southwest, but our main sort of threat right now, at least for the most part, is this northwestern storm up in northern portions of Ellis County and up into portions of Harper County. That's going to be for a severe thunderstorm warning for some hail and winds, and that storm currently is actually behind our dry line. You can see it right here, and kind of right now it's dew points up into the mid-60s, but out to the northwest is where we kind of have those lower dew points, which is going to make that storm more of a hail threat than more of a tornado threat. But what we're going to be kind of watching here later is because those temperatures have really soared up into those low 80s and almost some mid 80s down to the southwestern portions of the state. So that's increased our instability, and that's going to help to fuel our severe weather threat as we kind of head into the next few hours. We're going to be monitoring some of those cells that are starting to pop up in the southwest. So I'll be kind of talking about the risk, that timing, and what we can see coming up with our dry and warm weather ahead. So guys, back to you.
Thanks, Parker. The future of faculty tenure at the University of Oklahoma continues to be a hot topic of conversation, with Governor Kevin Stitt and Oklahoma legislators still pushing back against tenure for professors. But today's Oklahoma's Board of Regents meeting goes to show that there is a divide growing in this battle. President Joseph Harris says that the university will protect academic excellence while continuing to find a balance to hold staff accountable.
For us as a major research university to compete in that space, you have to be able to bring folks in with tenure. It is a reality of the marketplace.
If the bill removing tenure from OU and other public universities is passed, it would mean that no professor would be protected from termination without cause.
Oklahoma recently joined the National Home for Every Child initiative with the goal of recruiting more foster families across the state. But for organizations already working with foster children, the question is whether this initiative will actually make a difference. OU Nightly's Alyssa Payne joins us live in Norman with more. Alyssa?
I'm live here at Angels Foster Family Network, an organization that works every day to recruit and support foster families across Oklahoma. Groups like Angels say that finding enough foster homes and supporting these families remain one of their biggest challenges. The number of children entering foster care in Oklahoma continues to outpace the number of available homes. There are only 57 licensed homes available for every 100 kids in need.
The children that come into care deserve everything else that any other child deserves. They deserve access to mental health care, to good schooling, to loving and supportive homes.
Organizations like Angels work to recruit, train, and support foster families. The goal is to find new families and make sure they have the resources they need to care for these children.
And retention's a big part of foster care because you can recruit as many families as you can, but if they're not properly supported, it's hard.
That's where the Home for Every Child initiative comes in. The program aims to increase the number of licensed foster homes so every child has a place to live and thrive.
Anytime that anybody, especially in government, gives voice to the need for foster care, that's a win.
Since Oklahoma is the first state to join this initiative, there aren't many details on how it works or what kind of support this will give organizations like Angels. Advocates say they hope to learn more about this program and the impact it will have in the coming months. Reporting live, Alyssa Payne, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Alyssa. Angels says there are several ways people can get involved, like volunteering, organizing donation drives, or providing meals for local foster families. For more information about how to become a foster parent or help, you can visit their website, angelsfosterokc.org.
With spring break just around the corner, the Will Rogers International Airport says that TSA is ready to ensure all passengers are screened and through the checkpoint in a reasonable amount of time. This comes as TSA workers have been working without paychecks since a partial government shutdown started in February. Long wait times at TSA lines across the country are already being reported as spring travel ramps up.
The war between the United States and Iran continues tonight, with tensions remaining high in the Middle East. OU Nightly reporter Cariana Gamboa has the latest on the possible security threat due to the conflict.
U.S.-Iran conflict has created a heightened risk environment for potential terrorist attacks around the world. Yesterday, federal prosecutors charged 2 men with attempting to support the Islamic State after authorities say they tried to set off homemade bombs near the home of the New York City mayor on Saturday. The devices did not detonate and no one was injured. And just last week here in Oklahoma, a bomb scare and more prompted a response from a bomb squad after a suspicious package was left at a gas station. And I spoke with a former Network Foreign War correspondent, Mike Betcher, about whether or not he believes there is a risk. He says some of the sleeper cell terrorist groups he reported on in the past could still exist and potentially carry out attacks again.
I don't think that the Iranians are going to just sit back and take blow after blow after blow and not react in the way that would allow them to attack America directly. Their missiles cannot reach the United States, but the terrorist organizations that they help support and fund can reach the United States.
Tulsa PD officials say on a social media post they posted said that there are no credible threats in Tulsa or across Oklahoma at this time, but they're encouraging the public to stay alert. And if you notice suspicious behavior or unattended bags or anything that seems out of place, you're urged to report it. Leah, Reagan.
Thanks, Cariana. Continuing our coverage of the Iran war, the death toll continues to rise after 11 days of conflict between the country and the U.S.
We'll have an update on the conditions in the Middle East.
And it is almost election time in Cleveland County.
Hear what's on the ballots next.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
No, no, no. Turn it down. Turn it off. Get a hand. lose the bells and whistles, drive without distractions.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
As the war in Iran escalates, so do gas prices. Matthew Carson has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Over 1,700 have died since the start of the conflict in Iran 11 days ago. Iran has begun laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, where over 1/5 of the world's oil must travel through. Oil prices spiked on Monday, hitting prices at around $115 a barrel. Oil prices have now settled at around $85 a barrel. And 2 men were arrested after bringing homemade explosives to a protest at New York City Mayor Mandami's home.
Extremism and hatred of any kind will not be tolerated in our city.
The explosives failed to detonate and no one was harmed. Both men claim the attack was in support of ISIS, although there are no indications that the attack was connected to the ongoing conflict in Iran. And a bishop in San Diego has resigned after being accused of embezzling over $270,000. Bishop Emmanuel Shaletta pleaded not guilty to 16 felony charges and was arrested Thursday at the San Diego International Airport after trying to board a plane out of the country. The Pope accepted Shaletta's resignation. And someone shot at the U.S. consulate in Toronto. No one was hurt, and a search for the suspect is currently underway. Reagan, Leah, back to you.
Thanks, Matthew. The Cleveland County Election Board is starting to spread the word about the upcoming April 7th election. Voters will be able to cast ballots on a wide range of issues here in Norman. Voters will be able to cast ballots on 4 new city propositions and City Council the Ward 5 runoff. Sample ballots for the April election are available on the Cleveland County Election Board website.
A major wholesaler is impacting families and want-to-be parents with a heavy new discount. Bella O'Neill-Dooley has that and more in today's Health Beat.
Costco Wholesale is known for their $1.50 hot dog meal, and now they're cutting prices on fertility medication. Through a new partnership with Sesame and IVI-RMA, members can now save up to 80% on certain fertility medications that are often required for in vitro fertilization. These new discounts will provide some relief for those undergoing IVF, which can be very expensive. And the U.S. Food and Drug Administration declines to endorse a treatment for certain autism. Last fall, White House officials said that leucovorin could help thousands of autistic children, but the FDA says the evidence does not show the drug working for autism on a broader scale. Officials say the FDA does not intend to provide large funding for autism research, but there might be other federal efforts underway. And if you have trouble breathing, your fur little friends might be a reason why. A new small study done by the American Chemical Society shows how dogs affect indoor air quality. Dogs release more particles in the air than humans, and they track in fungi and bacteria from outside into your house. Researchers plan on continuing the emissions study on other pets in the future. And Frito-Lay's in a pickle recalling select 8-ounce bags of their Miss Vickie's spicy dill pickle potato chips across 6 states, including Oklahoma. The company said that some bags contain jalapeno chips, meaning there's undeclared dairy. Reagan, Leah.
Thanks, Bella. The big event is back on campus soon and registration is almost closed.
Find out what you can do to get involved in this day of service next.
We got a severe weather threat for most of the state here, and especially in the central part of the state. I've got those details in terms of where you can see it and when the timing of it all coming up after the break.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. We have a severe weather threat already on and kind of ongoing. Again, if we were kind of earlier on, we had those severe thunderstorm warnings off into the northwestern part of the state. Those are starting to kind of move off now up into Woodward and Woods counties. But right now we're starting to see some small cells develop along I-44, and those are the ones that we're going to be kind of monitoring as we kind of head throughout the next few hours, as that's going to be kind of the main show for tonight. So right now we're sitting at an enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk here across much of the south central portions of the state. If you're kind of monitoring this threat, it was a little bit further south, but that's kind of shifted off to the north. So, and that has kind of helped to increase our threats here in Norman. So right now, what I've kind of got is we got a low tornado threat for you tonight, but for the main threats, we hail and damaging wind gusts. But as we kind of head forward, that's going to kind of something we're going to monitor, because if we get some storms that kind of develop by themselves, that'll be more of a tornado threat. But right now, we're mainly thinking that tornado threat is going to be with the line of storms that's going to kind of come through and march its way off to the southeast and east, and that'll kind of bring a tornado threat, a lower one. But the main threat with some initial storms that fire up that we're going to watch for those cells down there is going to be for some large hail up to golf balls plus size hail. And then for later on with that line that moves through, we're going to kind of see a damaging wind threat for that line that moves on in later tonight. So kind of an all hazards threat. So let's go ahead and time it out for it and kind of see where you're kind of going on. Right now we got, again, those storms that are kind of firing off into the northwestern part of the state. But as we head later into tonight, we're going to see that line kind of begin to move in probably around that 7 to almost 8 o'clock time frame. It might be a little bit sooner now. This model might be a little bit later, because right now we got some cells starting to fire up, but those are going to kind of push off to the east, and they're going to bring some pretty good rain down to the southeastern portions of the state. And again, with that line, we'll have some embedded tornado potential, but the main threat will be damaging wind gusts as we kind of head further into the night. So as we kind of see with this rain, though, that's something we've been really needing, and the rain is not going to be kind of the main threat with this system. The graphic's kind of giving a little trouble right now. It's all right, though. We got some precip totals up into the 10 inches, 10th of an inch here in Norman. A little bit further down to the southeast, we got some almost up to an inch. So it's going to be a decent rainstorm, but not a ton. Well, whoops, little campus cam's not doing a little bit of some troubles right now, but it is clear skies right now. That's not showing what's happening right now. Gray right here on the screen, but it's clear skies out there. We've been feeling it. Temperatures up into the 80s right now, and we're going to see some drier conditions. We kind of head into the next few days, and along with that, some temperatures up into the above average. So it's going to be a little bit warmer. We're going to be kind of not seeing a lot of precip. We've been busy over the last few days, and that 7 days is kind of showing it. We've got some temperatures up into the mid 70s, and we're going to see a little cool down on your Monday, almost some lows down into the 30s. That's looking like a little more winter-like, so a lot calmer. We've had a crazy last few days here, especially in Oklahoma, but looks like a little bit calmer with some temperatures up into the 70s and drier conditions. So much better in terms of that. For that.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you mentioned golf ball size hail. I love golf, not golf ball size hail.
No, this is definitely not something you want to be messing with, because that's some big time hail, and that'll do some damage pretty significantly, especially to cars. So you want to make sure you keep those. If you got any sheltered sort of awnings or anything like that, definitely put those underneath that so you can kind of prevent any damage to those.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
If you plan on participating in the big event, there is only 7 days left to sign up. The event is entering its 27th year on campus and is OU's largest day of community service, where students, faculty, and staff come together to give back to the Norman and the OKC Metro. If you're interested in taking part, you can sign up through a link on the Big Event Instagram. And 2 Sooners were named finalists on a national collegiate list earlier today.
And one OU team has increased their hopes of staying alive in March.
Sooner fans have experienced a standout week for the Crimson and Cream, but also just up I-35 too. A record-breaking performance left fans thunderstruck on Monday. I have this and more next in sports.
Winter is upon us, and every Oklahoman knows that that means unpredictable freezing temperatures. One of the main concerns with freezing temperatures is the damage they can cause to your home or business should they cause your water pipes to freeze over. Older homes, especially those without proper insulation or that have basements or crawl spaces with exposed pipes, are particularly susceptible to this. Here is Rachel Croft, City of Norman Water Treatment Plant Manager, to show you the proper steps you can take to prevent your pipes from freezing.
The good news is you don't need to run a whole lot of water in order to combat freezing from your pipes. Here's how you do it. Another thing that you can do to help is to open your cabinet doors to make sure that warm air throughout your home is getting to your faucet pipes. But you want to make sure to remove any harmful chemicals that any small children or pets could have the ability to reach.
Following these steps can help save money on your water bill and help to conserve Norman's water supply.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hello, I'm Gracie Stubblefield, and it's time for sports. OKC Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is climbing his way up the MVP ladder after a standout performance Monday night against Denver. The action picked up near the end of the game when SGA made this three-pointer in the second half. And even with Nikola Jokic tying it up shortly after, the reigning MVP secured the win with this shot with only 2.7 seconds remaining. SGA tied Wilt Chamberlain's all-time record for 126 consecutive 20-point games, with 35 points and a career-high 15 assists. With a final score of 129-126, the Thunder have yet to lose a game since his return. Following their regular season finale victory against Texas, OU men's basketball moved up to the 11th seed and is headed to Music City to take on South Carolina in their first-round SEC tournament game. With 4 straight wins, this team has a better mindset heading into the rest of the season.
You know, we're playing better basketball. We're playing better defense. They're getting confidence in their defense. And for sure defensively, the confidence is at a high. I think the guys are really seeing the effects of guarding better.
After crossing the Red River in the offseason, former Texas wide receiver gave his thoughts on the OU-Texas rivalry game for the first time. Livingston made an impact in last year's game, catching 2 passes for 29 yards to help secure Texas's 23-6 win over Oklahoma. Now as a Sooner, the transfer has a new perspective going into next season.
When I was at Texas and getting ready for that game, like that was the game of the year. That's what we all looked forward to, was that game. We wanted to go there and we wanted to beat the crap out of OU. So now being in the OU jersey, is I want to go there and I want to beat the crap out of Texas.
After 4 straight wins at home at the O'Connor Invitational and another SEC Freshman of the Week award for Kendall Wells, OU softball will be back on the diamond tomorrow against Tulsa. This midweek matchup will be their final non-conference game before SEC play begins this weekend. Coming off a series sweep against Santa Clara over the weekend, OU baseball was meant to play today in Norman, but after being postponed due to weather, Skip Johnson's squad will take on UT Arlington tomorrow at 3. OU men's gymnasts Fuzzy Bennis and Ignacio Yockers were named finalists in what is considered the Heisman Trophy of men's gymnastics. The Nissen Emery Award is presented annually to an outstanding senior collegiate gymnast, and they make up 2 of the 6 finalists for the award. We'll have more coming up next.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Dana Moss at the OU Nightly Update Desk. A huge traffic tie-up in Norman has finally cleared tonight. This all happened after a crash at Flood and James Garner Avenue shut down the roundabout. According to the Norman Police Department's Facebook, a motorcycle crashed into a light pole. The driver was transported to a hospital. There is no update on their condition yet. Leah, Reagan, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Shayna. We're going to take one last look at weather. Parker?
Yeah, I just want to first real quick though highlight the weather call system that we kind of got here. $1 a month, $12 out of the year. You can get your severe weather alerts from your campus weather authority meteorologist here, and they'll for any severe thunderstorm watches or warnings. But for the later portions of your week, we got some temperatures up into those 60s and 70s, so it's gonna be a lot drier and not a lot of rain chances on the way. So it's gonna kind of bring our drought back up, and fire weather threat might be kind of back on the table as we head later into the week.
Thanks, Parker, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Reagan Garvin.
And I'm Leah Smith. Be sure to watch OU Nightly weekdays live at 4:30. Good night.